and gentlemen, and welcome to Geek for Stop Bubbles Oscars Oscar season. I can't talk, and because wink, wink, nudge, nudge, this is my fourth podcast today. I'm not tired, just my mouth a little dry. That's why I got 2 glasses of water. I'm gonna take a sip. I am all ready to go to talk about Lady Bird. I'm Travis Snail. I think I might have said that. If not, there we go. I am Oscar season is upon us. Just like last year, I'm going to be doing lots of reviews for Oscar movies that are nominated or have the buzz. Obviously, nomination don't have happened yet, but the first movies I've chosen, pretty soon they're going to get nominated in a few categories. So once nominations happen, I will be doing a bunch more. But watch the channel for reviews in the past. I'm doing Lady Bird right now. I, Tonya is going to be coming up. Call Me By Your Name. The reason I am trading is because I don't know our release schedule. I've not met with my own mind to think about when I'm releasing this. So at some point, they will be out there. But you know what is out there? Lady Bird. It was not out in Kelowna for a little bit, and that's why these reviews are always a little behind. It's not because we, as you see with most movies, we either do the night of or the day after. The Oscar season movies are most of the time the only movies we review I review a few months later because I live in Lower Kelowna and I don't get them. Now, I'm not sure if this review has played already, but I'll emphasize with Lady Bird, very big expectations. And you go into it hearing all these buzzwords or catchphrases like best movie of the year or best reviewed movie of the year or best reviewed movie on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a lot of hype. And I said this in one review that there's 2 movies for me that always, there's a narrative, and there's a movie that everyone loves, and I go, I don't know, it doesn't sound interesting to me. There's a lot of hype behind it. Might not like it. It's just the hype. Probably La La Land last year went in, probably not gonna like it. Then there's a movie that everyone loves. They go, this, and this is great, and this is great. A Spotlight, The Artist, Hell or High Water for me last year, and then I go, wasn't for me. This movie was the first. This movie was the movie that I thought I was not gonna like because not famously. I just say famously in my friends group, but group chats. Sing Street was the movie. Sing Street was the movie that everyone fucking loved. And you know what? This is a bad example. That was Hell or High Water. But the thing was, I loved it as well. I really enjoyed it, but it didn't get nominated for Best Picture, and I was fine with that. I went, yeah, this makes sense. This is almost in the similar vein, but I like this more than Sing Street, but this is in the vein that I didn't think I was going to like it because look at the synopsis for me. In early 2000, an artistically inclined 17-year-old comes of age in Sacramento, California. Anytime I hear comes of age or coming of age, I kind of check out. It's the westerns for me. It's the war movies. It's not as bad as those, but I just feel like from the 80s to now, I've seen the best of coming of age movies. The same way as war, same way as westerns, we've got into the best, And to me, that's where I'm not like comic book movies where it's like, oh, we hit the Dark Knight and then there's a few others, but really we could still explore some more stuff. I feel like in those categories, most of the time, I've explored what I need to. 2 examples against that this year, and that's the thing. Sing Street. I think I probably would give it like an 8.5. I can still say that's a great coming of age movie. I really enjoyed it. I like the characters, but it didn't blow me away. Something like Dunkirk this year, that blew me away, and it's a war movie. This I wouldn't say blew me away, but damn, I really enjoyed Lady Bird. It was lots of fun. Hour and a half too, which was great because sometimes coming of age movies, they get really indulgent and they really hit you over the head of growing up, and it's so dramatic. This has those moments, but an hour and a half was perfect time. That's what just felt like. It felt perfect. Right when the story hit its crescendo, it ended, and it was great. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't do that thing where, it overstayed its welcome and get second wind and end up, it ended up ending good, but there was a middle portion where it didn't work. Excuse me. Everything in this film worked. The biggest thing is, oh fuck, now here's a moment of truth. I have to say her fucking name because I never say it well. And then you know what, another reason why I don't say it well? Because everybody says 10 different things. Is it Saoirse Ronan? I'm not gonna offend her. I'm just gonna call her Miss Ronan. Miss Ronan, you're fantastic. You did a great job. You are the reason why I love this movie, because Sing Street, I really liked it. Lots of good leads. I connected with characters, but there wasn't like a performance like that was fantastic. She felt like this character. She made this character, I would say third dimension. She made this character feel like she was alive. I was gonna say 3-dimensional or 4-dimensional, but I was like, which one's which? I don't know. She made this character feel like a real person. She didn't feel like she was acting, and that's some of the best stuff to me in Academy Awards, and that's why I can see why this is getting praise, because it's a very natural performance, it's a very real performance, and it feels like, as far as directing wise, Gerda that's not how you say it. It's Gerda Gerwig. Yeah, that's how you say it. Much more simple name than Ronan's. It feels very personal in that sometimes I think some of the director's best work. This feels like this maybe could be her or someone she knew. And maybe it's not. If it's not, then I almost give her a bit more credit. But there's just certain scenes, like, there's just one scene where they are... And I think the reason I connect with this character a little bit, because she's grown up in I think it was Catholic school, and she pushes back a bit on religion, a little bit about that, and questions it. She doesn't get told, hey, this is the way it goes, and then you can't answer. You can't. That's what I mean. You can't question it. She does question it. There's two great scenes with shout out. The one is they're talking about abortion. It's a school assembly. I don't get into big spoilers, but she questions it and she makes some points, and they're valid. And that's what I've always liked, because as someone that, and this character is, I don't think, as big as me, but I'm somebody that has no religious affiliation. People go, oh, you're an atheist? No, I'm just nothing. I don't think about it. I don't care. What do you believe in? I believe myself. I believe my friends. I believe my family. Like, I have other stuff to worry about. I'm not going to go to Sunday church and do this and do that. If you do, that's great for you. But for me, never felt a calling one way. There could be a God. There could not be a God. Who knows? But the thing was, that was me a lot in my life, and that's why I think I question that, because I grew up in a Catholic family. Not very, very Catholic. I had some grandparents that were very Catholic, but in the sense of, oh, what, there's God, and they're like, why aren't you praying? Like, well, there's this, and this. Like, but there's a God. How do you know? Well, we just know. Well, that's not good enough for me. That's, I think, why I really like this movie, because I connected with her the most. And the other scene that I was going to shout out before I forget it was, there's just a scene of, there's like this coach. He's the coach for the sports, or he's the sporting coach. Man, I'm on a fucking roll. It's Oscar season. I'm supposed to be on my best behavior. I'm supposed to be firing all cylinders. Other new people could be watching this. Here I am tripping over all my words. My God. So there is a coach who primarily just does sports. And I guess the reason is I had to make it clear, I guess, because I thought, is there other coaches? And there is, but really when I thought I would say coach, would people understand that's a sporting coach? I digress. So there's a coach who does sports. And I'm setting this up, and he is in charge of the choir or the play, whatnot, that the school has to do, and he's just on a chalkboard, really laying it out like he would like a football play, but how they're going to be singing and what they're going to be doing in this play. And there's little moments like that make this film feel unique, and they feel very personal. And that's what who knows, but I think that's the biggest thing about this film that I like. Well, I don't think, but that's what I like, because I think there's little moments sprinkled throughout this whole movie, whether it's with her friends, with teachers, with adults, with the parents, that feel personal and don't feel like I've seen a bunch. And it's great. And it's a film that the biggest thing about when I refer to seeing a bunch, with coming of age, you get a lot of the dynamic with the school, the friends, and the with dating. Parents, to me, take a backseat in a lot of coming of age movies. They're either super fucking dopey or they're just not around. Like, look at Ferris Bueller's parent, in Ferris Bueller. They don't know anything, and then other characters, you don't hear about them. Lots of coming of age movies, that's always a big thing. Or look at something like Sing Street last year. It's the bigger brother who plays a role, but the parents are just kind of there, but they hate each other. Like, it's always very stereotypical, like, oh, they're getting a divorce, or oh, they're living their own life, or oh, they just hate their kid because he's, outlandish. Like, the parents felt third dimensional. They felt real, and that's the reason why I like this more than a lot of other coming of age movies the past few years is the dynamic with the parents. We've all been there with having parents and growing up. For the most part, in the comments, let me know. From that high school age till you graduate, there's times where you're gonna fight with your parents. Maybe not both of them, and that's what I love about this movie too. Is she has this much more headbutting relationship with her mother, and her father is more understanding of her. And maybe again, this might just be a personal thing. It's another reason why I love Guardians of the Galaxy too, is just because I have a big relationship with my father, so it's a personal thing. That was very similar to how I was in high school, as far as me and my mom, we loved each other, but we butted heads so much. And that's because now when I grow up, I realize I'm fucking so much like my mother. It's ridiculous. But my dad had much more of a casual relationship where it didn't end. Sure, there could be some arguments, but not the same amount with my mother. We didn't have that same, walk down the hall like gunslinger, like, I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you. Didn't have those same, not as many of those moments. And the best thing about this is, yeah, there's times where she'll say something outlandish. Like, there's a line where she says, I'm going to get a great job so I can pay my way. The mom says, we've worked so hard and we've paid for all the stuff for you to live and have a good life. And then she says, I'm going to go get, and the daughter, Lady Bird, which that's her name. I didn't even know that. Christine Lady Bird says, like, I'm going to get a good job. Give me that amount. I'm going to pay it all back, and then I never have to see you again. She says that, and then maybe a few scenes later, they're back. They're talking about, we should go do what we regularly do on Sundays, and they'll go try and dress shopping. They'll try and dress us, and that might end bad too, and they get another argument. But it's not the whole time. There's one in particular big fight, which I won't get into, but other fights, it is very much like how you act with parents. That's what I loved about this movie the most. Is the stuff with her friends is great. Her friends and her have good chemistry. Her friend is really fun. I forget. I'm gonna have to cheat and use IMDb to find her friend's name. Julie. Great. They play the best friend. And this movie tackles all those angles of the dating of of course, there's a break between best friends because they're going in different directions, but they get back together and they realize they're really good friends, and there's going through different partners as far as, maybe I like this guy or I like this guy. That stuff's all covered, and that's all done really well. So that gets flying colors. To me, I'm going to harp on the parent thing just a little longer because that's one of the biggest things in high school is relationship with parents. Good, bad, indifferent, in the middle. They play as big as a role as your friends and whoever you're dating and your teachers do, because that is such a huge moment in your life to be becoming an adult and them to be helping you along. And then there's to that point where you feel like you're an adult, even though we're definitely not adults by the time we're graduating high school, but you feel it. You're getting more responsibility. You're getting a job. You're talking about school. You're talking about getting a different, like a career. You're talking about moving out. All these things, and you're rebelling. This movie covers that so well, and it is done very subtly. And like I said, there's a scene in particular that I was going to shout out where the main character, Lady Bird, does something wrong. Parents and her getting in a fight. Lady Bird knows that she has done something wrong, or maybe shouldn't have gone about this way, and she's apologizing in the middle of the fight. They get back to fighting, and then they start talking normally, and they get back to fighting. That's the way it goes. There's so many of these movies where it's just the parents and the kids yell at each other, blah, 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 hate you and I hate you. And then like half an hour later, they'll get back, I'm sorry, I really love you. That's great. It still feels like while they're having these arguments or these conversations, like heated conversations, that they're normal and they still love each other. I don't like in movies when it goes to that extreme of we gotta really make it feel like the kid hates the parents here. No, you feel like they have a disagreement and they may hate what's going on and they're gonna lash out. But at the end of the day, she still loves her mom. She still loves her dad, whatever the circumstances. She still loves her siblings. They get in a few little arguments, but it all felt real. And that's why, to me, the movie, and that's the biggest touchstone, acting's great in it from everybody. Writing's great, but it's how personal it feels. It feels so much like it did in high school, and it covers things that not all coming-of-age movies do. Like I said, and I think in a much better way. It's not some heightened sense of reality. It's nothing as big as I'm gonna run away or this big all-time threatening love. That's great and all, but most of those big all-time loves in high school, for the most part, those end. The things with your parents, there's one particular, the way this movie ends is beautiful. It's a perfect example and a perfect portrait of growing up in those final years or final year of high school and moving to become an adult. And there's a certain scene she has when she's describing to a character, minor spoilers, or you know what? I'm not gonna do it. But the ending of the movie is great. I don't want to spoil it, but that conversation that is had about the conversation and what it is about is perfect. You know, you've had those moments, and it's a little much, bro. But like the conversation is kind of about, you know, she's living on her own now, and she kind of realizes what it's like out there, and you know that her parents were just trying to do right by her, and she sees a lot of herself in her mother, and we've all seen that. We've all, and especially myself as a parent now, when I've only been a parent for 5 months, but already as the time has gone on and as it continue to go, I can be like, I can see why my dad did that. I can see why my mom did that. I can see why they wanted me to do this or they didn't want me to do that. And they knocked that out of the park. Like I said, the acting is great by everybody. Laura McCaff, big fan of her. Always been a big fan of her. She does not get enough credit. She's probably one of the most underrated actresses in Hollywood. I don't know if she's gonna get any nominations, but man, she fucking deserves it. I hope she gets a supporting actress nomination. I wouldn't mind a win, but I can't shut that out because I don't know other ones. Supporting actor can be a lot of random movies. Um, Other stuff, the relationship stuff is good. There's a lot of Timothy. I'm gonna learn how to pronounce this when the Golden Globes happen. Timothy Chalamet, who was in Call Me by Your Name, and did a great job. Loved him in this. He's so good. This guy's gonna be fantastic. He plays a completely different character than he does in that movie. He plays just kind of like this like minor like sociopath in a way, just like, oh, the government's gonna bug all or stuff like that type of character. It's phenomenal. It has a great ending and it has a great purpose of the story because it's a story. That version of a story happens a lot in high school, and again, it feels realistic. It doesn't feel too heightened. Um, there's certain cons I have, but they're very minor story stuff that I wouldn't want to get into because I think it would spoil some stuff. It's just certain character things or certain pacing things. Like one, she's with there is a character that is with one character in a dating sense, and the breakup happens. But then before that, they kind of introduced who she was gonna be dating next, and it felt kind of weird because it felt like she really liked this person. But then it was like, okay, why are you kind of making eyes at this guy? There's a few things, and you know what? If it's based on a real story, and for that person, then that's the way it goes, and you'd have to ask them. But there's certain things where that fell a little out of place, or that was maybe forgone for a little bit, or that didn't need to be there. But for the most part, it's great. Lucas Hedges is in this. He's really fun. I love Lucas Hedges after Manchester by the Sea. I don't think he got enough credit last year. He got a nomination, and I guess that's enough credit, but like he could have won. I don't know. I can't remember who won last year Best Supporting Actor. Oh shit. Oh, I gotta find out. If I do not find out, I'm gonna be mad because then I can be like, okay, well, you know what? Oh, yeah. Okay, Mahershala Ali. Yeah. I can say I'm wrong. But you know what? He should have been talked about more because Lucas Hedges is great and he's going to do a lot of great things. And yeah, the cast is great. The story's great. Great runtime, great pacing. This is a movie so far out of the movies, other than Disaster Artist, that I've watched, and hopefully you've seen other reviews. If not, go check them out or check them out when they drop between I, Tonya and Call Me By Your Name. This is the movie I could watch soon. Again, I could watch it next week, and I wouldn't because it's not one of my all-time favorite movies. I really enjoyed it. It's a thing that I get a little mad about because I watched this and I watched them like Blade Runner 2049 or Logan. I understand why this is nominated. It's a very personal, deep character story. Not it is deep, I think, a deep character story, and it's a smaller scale story, and the Academy Award likes that a lot of times. And I could see it being nominated against Logan, but at the same time, when I look at this or Call Me by Your Name or even I, Tonya, maybe I'm biased, but like there's times where like this can still be a great movie, but it doesn't have to be a Best Picture. And I feel I'd have to look at them all once I see them. I think Lady Bird does deserve to be up there, but when you go, oh, does it deserve to be up there than Logan or Blade Runner? I don't know. It's the same thing as like Arrival last year. You know, it's there's other movies that were nominated, but it's like this movie and La La Land and Moonlight. These are movies that could blow me away and be some of my favorite of the year. But then there's other movies that are just real. They can be great movies of 2016. They don't gotta be nominated. Maybe I feel like this, and it feels weird because I just gave this movie so much praise. It's a really good movie, but I don't know if it's in my top 10. That's the other thing. It's a movie that I think the Academy will like. It's definitely going to get Best Picture nom. I don't know if it would win. I'm interested to see what's going to win this year, but it's I don't know if it's in my top 10, but I really enjoyed it, and you can take that with a grain of salt too, because coming of age, I think this did a lot of things well, did things different, but coming of age movies still are not my cup of tea. They're not things I have to go relive. You know, I lived high school. I like watching some characters do it. There's certain movies that I like more than others, but it's not my genre. So you can take that with a grain of salt. So I would give this. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because of. I think it deserves. There's not enough cons for me to give it a B or anything like that. I think it's an A. I really enjoyed it. I would watch this again. I would highly recommend it. Whether you like that type of genre or not. Great acting. I already said that. Great story. Very real, personal story, and you could feel that throughout the whole way. It just feels warm and loving. It feels like you're hanging out with your friends at times. It feels like you are back in high school for good and bad stuff. The religious kind of jokes here and there worked for me because I kind of take all religion with a grain of salt. So it kind of spoke to me in that way. Which, like I said, it feels weird by saying that, and it's not in the top 10. But like I said, with that, we talked about Last Jedi a few weeks ago. There's levels of good and great. You know, that shows that's something pretty great. If this movie for me is like a 9 out of 10, and I also take, I said this in one review that I take the cinematography and the writing and the pacing and editing into my scores all the time as well. So I could give this movie a 9 for the stuff I really enjoyed and then the filming aspect, but there could be a movie like It, which I think it's higher, but let's say if that was a 9, I may still just enjoy that more because of the tone and the genre and the story it is, but this can still be a very well graded movie and not be in my top 10. Really like Lady Bird. Go watch it. Let me know if you liked it, if you saw it. What was your favorite part? Do you kind of agree with me? Was this stand out from the coming age story? Was it just another one for you? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to be excited to keep reviewing the rest of these Oscar season movies. I'm going to try and do as many as I can. We're very busy this year, so there might be kind of like this where there's lots of reviews dropping in chunks instead of like last year, one every week, but we'll see. Thank you very much for tuning in. Subscribe on our YouTube, podcast services, iTunes, SoundCloud. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you thought. Let me know about this movie. All that stuff helps us out. If you don't want to support us on Patreon for $1, $5, you get exclusive early content. You can get content episodes that are not even, we don't even know when they might air. There's a show that's just for Patreon right now because it's in hiatus, but guess what? You get it there. So if you can't support us there, please do one of those other things because it helps us out a lot. We had a great year in 2017. I've said that a lot, but I keep saying that. We had our biggest YouTube year. We had our biggest podcast year. It was a great year, and we hope to continue that trend, and we continue up to climb because we love hearing from fans. We love being interactive. Whether it's this video or other ones, if you have something to say, a question, a comment, as long as it's constructive, fun, even if you say, hey, I don't agree with this, and this, I'm ready. If you want to tell me why this is the best movie of the year and why I'm wrong, do it. Just, leave out a fuck you or, ass clown. Thank you very much. I don't know when you'll hear from me next on the Oscar season reviews, but it will not be boring.